just a boy, dreamed of falling in love with a girl like you. Through the years I thought I found you, but nothing would do. Now here we are. Ooh, I wanna grow old with you. Making my dreams come true. Ooh, with you I feel brand new, 'cause I don't get old loving you. When I was older looking hard, your love hit me hard. I didn't see you coming. Through the years you were doubting, you thought about running. Now here we are. Ooh, I wanna grow old with you. You're making my dreams come true. With you I feel brand new, 'cause I don't get old loving you. Took a long time to know what I wanted, and now I do.
Oh my god!
Only on you.
Whoa! It's so long!
Took a long time to know what I needed.
Wow!
Now it's clear
Oh my
whenever
god!
you are near.
Yeah, you look amazing.
Forever holding out.
Oh my god, it's so
for
long! How are you gonna walk?
It took a long time to find what I was looking for. But when it,
Wow,
You
I
look
love
good
the
too.
pearls too.
it all
Right?
fit
I'm like
together. Took a
I also love
long
this. I love the hair. It's
Hair?
beautiful.
Yeah?
It's beautiful.
to see
Oh my
what was
god.
in front of me. And I can't
Yeah, you like my?
lie,
Yeah.
no matter how
Check me
I
out.
try.
My bling. Oh, I got a little smush. Can you get it up?
Forever holding out. Forever holding out for you. Forever holding out. Forever holding out. Forever holding out for you.
Abigail and Michael, before God and this community, I ask you to affirm your willingness to enter this covenant of marriage and to share all of the joys and sorrows of this new relationship, whatever the future may hold. Abigail, will you have Michael to be your husband? And will you love him faithfully as long as you both shall live? If so, please answer, I will with the help of God.
I will with the help of God.
And Michael, will you have Abigail to be your wife? And will you love her faithfully as long as you both shall live? If so, please answer, I will with the help of God.
I will with the help of God.
Well, in just a moment, we will come to the exchange of your wedding vows, but before you offer those vows to one another, I'd like to say just a few words about those vows and about what I think they are going to require of you. Not long ago, I heard a story about a man in this community who had turned 90, and he mused out loud to some friends, I wonder what I should do with my life. Human beings are creatures of evolution, and we do and we must change over time. Abigail, you are not the same person that you were when you used to babysit my kids. You're not the same person who graduated from Yale just a few years ago. You're not even the same person you were when you moved to DC and started attending Amanda's church. And Michael, you're not the same person that you were when you were growing up in North Carolina, attending a Presbyterian church. And you're not the same person you were when you were at Northwestern. And you're not even the same person who, rather faithfully and very wisely, I would say, asked to share Abigail's hymnal in church one Sunday morning. Look, you're not fundamentally different from those versions of yourself, but my point is that you have both changed and shifted and grown in those years. That is a gift, and I believe it's a gift to do it in the company of another person. But I also happen to believe that it requires great care and great patience and, yes, great hospitality. Your vows require that you shall be patient and attentive to the very subtle shifts that are going to occur within each of you over time as you change and evolve. Michael and Abigail, I predict that you will gaze on one another from time to time and realize that something has shifted internally for both of you, and that you're not quite the same people that you were even weeks ago. You will from time to time become as strangers to one another, to which I say embrace it. It's a sign of growth. It's a sign of vitality. Just show hospitality to one another as you are being made new across time. But then that act of hospitality and patience moves backward toward the past as well as toward the future. It has to do with honoring the integrity of your individual journeys before you discovered one another. It has to do with honoring the families that nurtured both of you. The entire journey has given both of you valuable experience, and if you are like most people, it's given you some hard-won wisdom. Again, like most human beings, I'll guess that the road that brought you here to this day has given you joy and probably some sorrow as well. You bring all of that with you to this moment. Today, I hope that you can embrace all that you have been, understanding that somehow it's all important, that it all belongs, and that it all leads right here to these vows. These vows, they are not static. They are dynamic. And they're only going to mean something if you can keep on saying them, if you can keep on creating them with one another patiently across time. You're saying yes to one another today, and I submit that it's an important yes. But really, the far more important yes is the one that you're going to offer to one another tomorrow. And then the far more important one after that is the one that you'll offer the next day and the day after that, and on and on and on. What all of us hope for you is that you will keep on finding ways to recreate this yes that you're offering today, extending hospitality to the unknown selves that you are in the process of becoming, that you are even now making. Just keep on saying yes and yes again. Now I'm going to invite you to join me up here. We'll begin with your words.
When I was a teenager, I made a checklist of qualifications for my future husband. He needed to be musical, smart, get along with my family, and be at least a little bit religious. He also needed to be active, hardworking, involved in his community, loved to read, loved the outdoors, loved to travel, align with me politically, and optimally be taller than me. At a minimum. And most everyone doubted a man existed that fulfilled all of these qualifications. But then you walked into First Church in DC, and over the last 4.5 years have proceeded to check all the boxes in my checklist. In June of 2021, we completed the Presidential Traverse in New Hampshire through hail and pouring rain. As we scaled a snowfield on Mount Jefferson, I held my breath, praying we wouldn't trigger a rock slide and fall to our doom. Just days later, you said you wanted to go back. Outdoorsy, check. While in Ireland with my family, we jumped into 7 bodies of water in 7 days. Before the trip, you watched YouTube videos and recruited our friends to help you learn how to swim so you wouldn't miss out. Loves to travel, check. Last Christmas, when we went to a big family gathering at Lucy's house, and my aunts and uncles and cousins began blaring Feliz Navidad on their brass instruments, you whipped out a tambourine, becoming the newest member of the Calkins family band, vastly outshining the half-dozen amateurs honking along. Musician, check. Thrives in family, check. Just a few weeks ago, you marched alongside me in the Poor People's Campaign to End Poverty, proudly carrying a sign saying Jesus was a low-wage worker. Involved in community, check. Then there's the more obvious. You're smart and hardworking, graduating with 2 bachelor's degrees, you read every day, you are literally addicted to biking, we met at church, and very obviously, you're taller than me. Check, 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 check. But Michael, even if you are task-oriented and keep our lives in order, you are so much more than a checklist. When you walked up to me at church on January 5th, 2020, I had this feeling in my gut, like I was recognizing you more than I was meeting you. This feeling has only strengthened over the last few years. After an awful day, you'll envelop me in a hug, and in the next minute, we'll both be howling with laughter. When I'm overwhelmed, you pick up after me, starting from just a few days into dating, when you did my laundry and brought me groceries. I love dancing around the living room with you on a random Wednesday at 9 p.m. I love exploring new places with you and having you point out some beautiful detail that I didn't even see, like the angle of a glass building. I am most proud of the culture we've created as a couple, founded in a generosity towards each other, a drive to explore and share new experiences together, and a collective goal to leave this world a better one. I love you, and I'm thrilled I get to marry you.
Abigail, I am overwhelmingly grateful that I walked into First Church on January 5th, 2020. I distinctly remember pacing back and forth outside the doors for a couple minutes, nervous that I wouldn't enjoy the service or that I wouldn't really connect with anybody. Little did I know that 30 seconds later, you'd hand me a program, we'd sit next to each other, we'd even hold hands during communion, and we'd have a riveting conversation after the service. I remember being blown away by your warmth and your intellect. And I remember leaving the service, calling my mom, and trying to play cool and downplay just how excited I was to have met you. A couple Sundays later, I remember anxiously waiting in the lobby for a few minutes before the service, hoping you'd show up. I started to lose hope, but felt totally elated when you ran in at the last moment in classic Abigail fashion. Shoes untied, eating cold pancakes out of a Tupperware. I was struck by how authentic you were, and how your commitment to community and showing up was clearly more important than looking perfectly put together. A few moments later in the pews, I dropped perhaps the greatest pickup line of all time. Can I share your hymnal? You have brought so much color and beauty into my life since then. I particularly love how you've led me on all sorts of wild adventures through the great outdoors. Of course, our 4-day hike across the Presidential Traverse in New Hampshire comes to mind. We walked together across rocky terrain, worked together to overcome obstacle after obstacle, supported each other through difficult climbs, often through rain and dense fog for hours at a time. And we enjoyed absolutely breathtaking scenery together. There were moments of tension and frustration, and moments of euphoria and fulfillment. It was one of the most rewarding experiences I've ever had, and I came away knowing that I wanted my hiking partner to be my life partner. My life is so much richer with you in it. You've brought so many incredible people into my life, especially your wonderful family. You've taken me to Old Lyme, Hamburg, and Traverse City, introduced me to countless family activities and traditions, and always made me feel so welcome. Every day you make me feel so loved, you inspire me, and you bring me so much joy. I trust you and respect you so deeply, and I love you more than words can express, and I'm so excited to marry you today.
Well, look, there's one final thing that we need to do before the celebration begins. And so hear these words of declaration. I hereby pronounce that they are husband and wife. Michael, you may kiss your bride, and Abigail, you may kiss your groom.
Just my kind of heat, keep it on repeat. Testify the passion, loving this devotion.
Michael and Abigail, it has been said that there are two lasting things that we give our children. One is roots, and the other is wings. Everyone here today has been a part of Michael and Abigail's roots or Michael and Abigail's wings.
Has always been a very passionate person on the one hand, and on the other hand, a person with a couple eccentricities, one might say, or as my mom would say, a couple screws loose. So I'd like to share a little bit about both of those sides of Abigail and why we're so excited that she's tying the knot with Michael, someone who shares her passion and maybe can, tighten a couple of those screws.
Growing up with a twin brother gave Abigail some unique childhood experiences. For example, when Hugh befriended the boys down back, Abigail went right along. It was only later that we discovered this involved peeing in a bucket in a tree fort. Yes, Abigail too.
Michael's passions are what, part of what we love so much about you and why we're thrilled to have you in the family. But if we're being honest, though, we're also kind of thrilled that we found somebody who can roll with the chaos.
Abigail is about the people. She is about each of you. When Abigail graduated from Yale, she received the Berkeley College Award for the one who brings the most light and air to the community. Now, she brings light and air and a lot of laughs to our family.
And Abigail, we are so proud of how you fight the demons of injustice wherever you find them.
Thank you to each person in this room for the influence you have had on Michael and Abigail's lives. After all, to love and to be loved is the greatest joy on earth.